Have you ever woken up from a nightmare, heart pounding, sweat on your brow, with a lingering image you just can't shake? An image so vivid, yet so frustratingly vague. Now, imagine if someone you'd never met, halfway across the world, was having the exact same nightmare. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most unsettling phenomena in modern sleep research, a story that blurs the line between the individual mind and a collective consciousness. It's a story known among a small circle of researchers as the stranger in everyone's dream log. It all began in 2008 at a state-of-the-art sleep research facility tucked away in a quiet corner of upstate New York. Dr. Arise Thorne, a leading neurologist, was conducting a seemingly routine study on REM sleep disorders. He had gathered 12 participants, all strangers to one another, from different walks of life: a teacher, a software engineer, a retired librarian, a college student, a complete cross-section of society. They were to spend 2 weeks at the facility, their sleep patterns monitored, their brainwaves recorded, and their dreams logged upon waking. For the first few nights, everything was standard. Participants reported the usual bizarre dream narratives: flying, being late for an exam, teeth falling out. Dr. Thorne and his team were collecting solid, if unremarkable, data. But on the fourth night, something shifted, one by one, as the participants were woken from REM sleep for their dream reports. A new, unsettling element began to emerge. The first to mention it was the college student, a young man named Ben. He described a dream where he was walking through a vast, empty library. The shelves were towering, impossibly high, filled with blank, leather-bound books. But it wasn't the library that scared him, it was the feeling of being watched. He said he saw a figure at the far end of a long aisle. It was tall, unnaturally so, dressed in a dark, old-fashioned suit. He couldn't make out a face, just a smooth, pale oval where features should have been. Ben woke up with his heart racing, overwhelmed by a sense of pure dread. The research assistant logged the report and moved on. An hour later, she woke the retired librarian, a gentlewoman named Clara. Clara's dream was different. She was in her childhood home, but the rooms were distorted, the hallway stretching into infinity. And there, standing in the doorway of her old bedroom, was a man. He was so tall, she whispered, her voice trembling. His head almost touched the top of the door frame. I couldn't see his face. It was like it was not there. Again, the report was logged. By the end of the night, 4 of the 12 participants had described a tall, faceless figure in a dark suit appearing in their dreams. The researchers noted it as a strange coincidence, a statistical anomaly, and moved on. But the next night, it happened again. This time, 8 participants reported the figure. The settings of their dreams were all different: a foggy marsh, a crowded subway car where no one else noticed him, an empty office building after hours. But the description of the entity was always the same: incredibly tall, thin, wearing a dark suit, and possessing a completely blank, featureless face. The terror he inspired was also consistent: to primal, gut-wrenching fear that lingered long after waking. The participants started talking to each other in the common areas. They were spooked, comparing notes, realizing they were all being haunted by the same nocturnal visitor. The atmosphere in the facility, once clinical and calm, became thick with anxiety. Dr. Thorne was baffled. This defied all known principles of neurology, the study of dreams. Dreams are supposed to be deeply personal, woven from the fabric of our own memories, fears, and desires. How could 12 strangers, with no prior connection, be dreaming of the exact same entity? He scoured their intake forms, looking for any shared experience. Had they all seen the same obscure movie, read the same book, visited the same place? He found nothing, no common link. They were, for all intents and purposes, a random sample of the population. By the second week, the situation had escalated. All 12 participants were now dreaming of the tall man, as they'd begun to call him, every single night. The dreams were becoming more intrusive, more aggressive. He was no longer a passive observer in the distance. He was getting closer. One participant dreamed the man was standing right beside his bed, leaning over him. Another dreamed the man was tapping on her window, his long, pale fingers rapping silently against the glass. No one could ever see his face, but they all felt his intent. It was cold, malevolent, and suffocating. The participants were becoming sleep-deprived, afraid to close their eyes. The study, designed to understand sleep, was now preventing it. Dr. Thorne was under immense pressure. He had a duty of care to his subjects, but he was also on the verge of a discovery that could change our understanding of the human mind forever. He decided to try an experiment. He brought in a forensic sketch artist. One by one, he had the participants sit with the artist and try to describe the tall man. The artist, a seasoned professional used to drawing faces from memory, grew increasingly frustrated. "They all say the same thing," he told Thorne. "They can describe his height, his suit, his posture. But when it comes to the face, there's nothing. It's not that it's blurry or in shadow. They're telling me there is literally nothing there to draw, just ... a blank." The artist's sketch pad remained empty except for the outline of a tall, suited figure with a smooth, featureless oval for a head. It was a chillingly simple, yet deeply disturbing image. The study was supposed to last 14 days. On the morning of the 12th day, Dr. Thorne called it off. The participants were too distressed to continue. They were given a mild sedative to help them get a single night of dreamless sleep before being sent home. Thorne and his team were left with reams of data, hours of brainwave recordings, and a mystery that was more profound than any of them could have imagined. They analyzed the EEG data, looking for any anomaly that coincided with the appearance of the tall man. They found one. In the moments each participant reported seeing the figure, there was a unique, synchronized spike in brain activity across a specific neural pathway, a signature that was identical in all 12 subjects. It was as if their brains were all tuning into the same horrifying broadcast. Dr. Thorne never published the full results of the study. The findings were so far outside the accepted scientific paradigm that he feared professional ridicule and the potential for public panic. The story only exists in hushed conversations in the halls of neurology conferences, a piece of academic folklore. What was the tall man? A shared archetype from the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung might have theorized. A psychic projection, or something else entirely. The 12 participants went back to their lives. Most of them refused to ever speak of the experience again. A few follow-up inquiries revealed that for most, the nightmares stopped once they left the facility. But not for everyone. 2 of the original 12 reportedly still see the tall man in their dreams, years later. He's always there, standing in the background, a silent, faceless observer in the theater of their minds. A permanent, terrifying reminder of the 2 weeks they spent at a sleep study, where they discovered that some nightmares are not our own, they are shared. Thanks for watching. If you've ever had a recurring dream or an experience you couldn't explain, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. Stay curious and sleep well.